Hey guys, welcome to another video. So in today's video we have something quite special in front of me. Now if you're in the market looking for a supercar and you have a spare £100,000 sitting there, this would be a great contender. So in front of me we have a 2020 Audi R8. Now this has a 5.2 litre V10 engine in there, which produces a colossal 562 brake horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. It's an absolute animal. So in terms of what we're going to do in today's video, we're going to go through the exterior features of the car, the interior features of the car, and you'll get some drive-by shots of it as well. Alright guys, so let's get started with the exterior of the car. Now if you look at the car itself, this is the facelift model, so there have been quite a few changes compared to the pre-facelift. Now the pre-facelift was from 2017 onwards up to this 2020 model. Alright guys, so if you look at the front of the R8, we can see that there have been quite a lot of changes compared to the pre-facelift model. Now if we start off first of all with the lighting of the car, on the pre-facelift model it had the daytime runners. However, with these ones have had more of a sharper change in terms of the shape. Now in terms of the LED light itself, it's still pretty much obviously a similar type of shape, but the outline of the light is way different. One of the major changes that I personally have witnessed on the Audi R8 is the vents within the bumpers. So we can see that on the facelift 2020 model, these have had a much more of an update. Obviously look at the edges on the bumpers here, these have been updated, and that just gives it a much more aggressive and meaner look. And yeah, I think overall just the front bumper and the split out of the front just gives it that extra touch as well. So that I think is the major update at the front. If you go to the side of the car as well, there's been obviously smaller changes in terms of alloys and just the finishing, but generally the R8 has had quite a similar shape from the initial first model, which was introduced in 2007. If we go around, we can see that this one has the 20-inch 5-spoke dynamite wheels, which are in the metallic colour, and these have been complemented with the metallic grey brake calipers, which just give it a really nice touch. Obviously this being a V10, it does have the V10 badge on there, and of course if you go to the external door mirrors, these have the metallic matte finish as well, which goes really nice to it. Another thing I quite like is the side step as well. The trim on it is metallic as well. It complements the wheels and just generally the trim as well. So I mean, if we go to the back of the car, again, we talk about changes on the car, we can see that there have been some great changes as well on the rear of the R8 compared to the pre-facelift as well. So generally in terms of the general finish, I mean they've changed the trim slightly, obviously with the lighting, and just below the lighting as well we can see that the newer R8 has a slightly different tone of lighting right under the rear headlamp, which the previous one did not have. Also the shape of the vents under the lighting, those have completely changed as well. I think compared to the previous model and the newer model tends to have the larger vents all around, which I think is a nice feature. It just gives it that modern touch as well. And also if you go down to these massive two exhaust pipes, I think these have changed as well significantly. I think on the previous model they were nowhere near as big as the ones that you get on this model, so that is another great change as well. And of course you have the splitters at the bottom, which just give you that extra mean touch as well. So yeah guys, I mean there have been quite a lot of changes from the previous to the current model. So another feature that I quite like about the new R8 is the spoiler that has been input on top of the boot lid. So this one itself has the carbon fiber effect on it, which is really nice. It just gives you that extra sporty touch. And yeah, I mean if you could see from behind, you can see that in the R8 the engine is in the rear. So obviously this being a 5.2 litre V10, that's where the engine is. And yeah guys, generally it's just quite a lovely car. It looks absolutely aggressive, and yeah, with the modern touches, the change in the wheels and the lighting and all of the bumpers, it looks really nice. Okay guys, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the interior. So we're just going to open the door and have a look at the car from inside. So before we actually go inside, in terms of the interior, I would say that it's still pretty much very similar to how the previous model was, minus some subtle changes. However, if we look inside, it's all quality. Obviously, this being a two-seater supercar, you can see instantly that you have the black leather stitched quilted bucket racing seats, which is really nice. Inside as well, you can see center console, and the features obviously have been standard for all previous Audi R8 models as well. You have your 7-tronic speed gearbox. Obviously there's no screen in the center for the R8s, and for the Audi TTs as well. The screen tends to be within the cockpit, obviously the digital cockpit in front of the driver. Obviously the steering itself is a flat bottom racing steering, and it has the R8 logo there as well, obviously indicating what it is. To give it a sporty touch, what I love about the R8 is the start stop engine button, which obviously just gives it a really sporty touch to it. And just generally, if you look at the climate control and all the functions and buttons here, they're quite simple, yet they are to the point, which is really great to see as well. And the one thing I quite like is just the finishing around the virtual cockpit as well. So you can see that there's a carbon fiber effect to it, just gives it that extra race sporty touch as well. This car has the paddle shift system on it as well, which again, this being a sports car, it is expected to have that as well. And yeah guys, it's just a very nice place to be. Again, it's a two-seater car, so expected to be just suited for 2 people, but yeah, it is quite the sports car. Alright guys, so now we're gonna start the car up just to hear what a brute of the car this is. That's an absolute noise guys. Honestly, it's 5.2 litre V10 engine. It sounds like an absolute beast. Alright guys, so now we're just going to do a POV drive of the R8, just so you can get a bit of a feel. So as you saw in the previous clip, when the car turned on, it was pretty loud, having a 5.2 litre engine in there, and those 2 massive exhausts, you instantly just, you could hear it from probably a mile away. It's just so loud. But yeah guys, just enjoy the drive. So yeah guys, I also wanted to show you the key for the Audi R8. So it has a very nice gloss black and chrome finishing to it. It looks the part and it really suits the car as well. Just goes well with this particular car and its colour. But yeah guys, it looks really good. So guys, I also wanted to show you very quickly the boot space on the Audi R8 as well, just so you get a bit of a feel of what it's like. So it's got a bit of a lever here, but can pretty much get a feel. It's not the largest space in a car, however it's still pretty spacious, and yeah, you can fit kind of your daily small items in there. This being a supercar, that's expected. You're not meant to have ample space for multiple suitcases, but again, it's very convenient considering the boot space on this car is on the front compared to the traditional being in the rear. So guys, I also wanted to show you just the steering wheel of the car itself. So as you can see, it's got a really nice stitched feeling to it. It is a flat bottom steering wheel with it being a sport, while this one is supercar, and it has all the standard functions on there how you have on most typical Audis. The difference here is this has the red color start stop button there just to go with the sporty effect, and it has the drive select and race modes here, which obviously are really nice as well. As mentioned, it has virtual cockpit system here, so all the functions are pretty much on here. You do have all the driver functions and modes here, so obviously this function to move everything around, your park brake system, and just generally all the buttons as well for the menu and stuff like that. And then you have your function for your map, your media, your radio. Of course, it does have a automatic Sportronic 7-step gear, obviously your PRND there, your volume button there, and of course you have all your functions here. So for, you know, moving the traction control, Parktronic, start stop. And the one thing I really like about this car is that it has these dials here, so you could just digitally turn them and move them around. The general obviously front and dashboard of the car is pretty simple. It doesn't have a huge amount there. Of course, it has the carbon finish as previously mentioned, and this whole kind of cockpit system here, which is very nice as well. It's just quite a nice place to be. It's a sports supercar, of course, sorry. Pretty compact, but generally it fulfills the purpose of being a supercar. Now, the question arises as to whether this car is the ultimate supercar, or I mean, is it worth the money? Now personally, this being the 2020 model, I think it's right up there with its rivalry competitors, so the Aston Martins and the Porsches. I think is right up there. This having a 0 to 62 time in 3.2 seconds, it just goes to show how rapid, how quick it is, especially with the new features on the car as well, exterior wise mainly. It does fulfill that objective. And yeah, I mean, of course, it's a lot of money, so it's not something that I would say, you know, it's something that you just in a split second say this is the right car for me. But for the money, you do get what you're after: performance, practicality of a daily driver, and yeah, it's generally a very lovely car. So if we look at the rear lights as well, we can see that they've got a very streamlined LED shape, which just goes really well in general as well. And yeah, it has the LED lights on front and rear, which is a really nice feature on this car as well. So guys, you could also see the front daytime running LED lights. They have that nice sharp shape to it. It just gives you that really mean and aggressive look as well, and it just goes really nice with the whole look of the car. I just love the facelift streamlined shape. It just gives it a more modern touch. Yeah guys, quite a lovely car. So there we have it guys, this is the new 2020 Audi R8. I hope you've enjoyed my review on the car, provide your intake on the car as well. And as always guys, please like, share, subscribe, and provide your support to the channel. It's always you know, irreplaceable and really effective guys. So yeah guys, thanks for watching.